Okay, so today we are going to talk about invites. I know I'm Jess, this is probably all going to be like a little bit overwhelming for you because it's like you're literally your first day, but don't worry about it. We'll get you there. So invites, as you know, is one of the vital behaviors, right? So without inviting, you cannot make it. Honestly, it's like my least favorite activity ever. It is that one thing that I push off until the last thing. It's literally always the last thing on my to-do list. And then I'm laying in bed at night, sending out my invite. I don't know why I don't like doing it. It's just, it is awkward. You know, it's one of those things. So that's, I feel like I've kind of gotten just a little bit more comfortable with it. I found my script that works for me. So when I send it out, I don't feel salesy. I don't feel, it feels good to me. It doesn't feel like I am bothering people, right? So my general script that I send out. So, well, I'll touch on that in a minute. Let me go back. So invites, there's a couple of different ways that you can invite. One is through, just like, you can obviously, it always should be one-on-one. It should never be via group text message, because there's nothing more impersonal than being like, hey, everybody in my friends group, join my challenge group. I really care about you. Like if you're not giving them the one-on-one attention, you don't really care about just them. So there's a couple of ways that you can do it. One is to do an indirect invite, which is kind of like, hey, doing this, do you know anybody who'd be interested in that? And it might, like you're kind of saying it to them, like, hey, I'm doing this challenge group. And I know like, you're involved in it and some of your friends are kind of active and fit. What do you think that you know anybody who might be interested? So it's kind of like an indirect invite where it's like, hey, I'm really kind of targeting you, but what do you think? You think anybody you know? Because a lot of times people will be like, oh, well, I'd actually be interested in that. And like, oh, really? Oh. So there's that. And then there's the direct invite. It's like, hey, I'm thinking of you. I think that you'd be awesome. I'd love to have you in my group. I know we've talked about it before. Do you want to join my challenge group? So there's like the indirect and the direct, right? Oh, hi, Poppy. That's puppy number 2 on the call tonight. Miss Tracy's.
Sorry.
So yeah. So, invites are, they can be a little bit scary, but this is the thing I want you to figure out. And it's going to take a little bit of time to get your footing. I want you to figure out what feels good for you. So for me, my invite is literally, and I send this to a lot of people. Hey, Kirsten, I wanted to reach out and see if you or anyone you know might be interested in joining my next challenge group. We'll be starting September 21st. The groups are all done via a closed Facebook group and are great for motivation and support. Do you think this is something that you might want to try? Simple, easy. I always end my thank yous, my invites. Sorry, it's been a long day today, so I'm a little bit like, I always end all of my messages with a question or kind of like a call to action, because it's going to really kind of force them to respond to you. Whether it's, no, I'm not interested, which it's funny because I get those messages back and I'm just like, okay, all right. Mad props for just saying no, because some people are like, oh, and they give you all these excuses. I would rather people just say, no, I'm not interested, thanks, than to give me some sort of excuse, right? So that works for me, and that's kind of the invite that I feel comfortable sending out. But here's the thing, so I send those out to people that I've been interacting with, right? Like, these are people who I like their posts. I comment on the stuff on Facebook, who I talk to on a daily basis. These are people who, like, I've been interacting with. This isn't just like out of the blue, hey, join my challenge group. You don't know me from this other person walking down the street, but I think you'd be great, because you don't really know them. So a lot of times, whenever because I'm out of my warm market at this point. Like, I don't, like, most of the people who are in my challenge groups. I still have some remnants of people that I actually know or people that I have invited forever ago and have decided to join my challenge groups now. But most of the people now are like friends of friends or, people that I don't really know. So when I become friends with them on Facebook, I start interacting with them. I'll comment on their kids' pictures. I'll comment on them. I ask them about themselves, and try to get to know them a little bit. So because, there's some people who I find like a friend and I'm like looking at them, I'm like, I don't want this negativity in my challenge group. I would love to help this person if you need it. But at the same time, like, sometimes you have to be a little bit picky too. So, you're getting to know these people. So that's the other thing, an invite doesn't necessarily have to be, hey, join my challenge group. It could be, hey, I saw that picture of you and your family. You have an amazing family and that looked like a great vacation. Where did you guys go? Or, whatever. It could just be a conversation starter too. So you don't necessarily always have to be inviting to a challenge group because, there's people also like I haven't seen since high school or something like that, and I might just be like, hey, it's been so long since I've seen you. How have you been? And it just starts a conversation because then it's like, oh, well, what do you do now? And then they ask me, well, what do you do? And of course, that's my opening. Oh, well, I'm a wedding planner, but I'm also a Team Beachbody coach. And that's, kind of where my passion lies. And I get to help people get healthy and it's really great, So there are a lot of different ways that you can work the invite. So I personally set it for either 2 or 3 invites every single day. I think that number isn't extremely overwhelming because it's not like unbearable, it's like, okay. And then whenever you start getting the responses back, it's not like you're getting 20 responses all at the same time. You're getting 2. And then you can handle that, especially starting off with as a newer coach, and all 3 of you are fairly new coaches. Well, Jess, you're extremely new, but yeah, I mean, you don't want to start to feel overwhelmed by the invites because then you're going to start to push them off even more, and it's inviting, like I said, is always one of those things where people are nervous to do it because it's like you're nervous to get the response. But just remember this, the worst thing that can happen is they're going to say no.
Nicole, when you say that you are inviting 2 to 3 people a day, are you counting in that like the people that you're just reaching out to, like, hey, how are you? It's been a while since I talked to you. Or are you like counting the like physical, do you want to join my challenge group? Because I think that's where I'm getting stuck.
Yeah, I don't count those people, and that like getting to know you is called forming because you learn about their family, their occupation, or other. You guys remember that little thing? So I don't count forming into my invites. I only count the invites when I specifically say,
okay,
would you like to join my challenge group? And the only reason is just because I always felt like, and I guess it's just like a different way because some coaches count that. Some coaches will say, yeah, that counts, as an invite. I guess it depends on how deep the conversation goes. You know what I mean? Like if I would count it or not. So I generally just don't count it because I don't know at that point, like how far the conversation is going.
Right. Okay.
So what any other questions for right now? I know it's still, like I said, it's always, I mean, inviting is always kind of one of those things where it's a little bit nerve wracking. So, and honestly, the thing is that what I did to get myself be more comfortable with it, obviously practice makes perfect, right? I mean, I still kind of dread it, and it's not necessarily, I don't know what it is. So for me, it's kind of weird because I don't mind sending the invites, but then it's like, that anxiety of what are they going to say whenever I get the invites back? Are they going to be like, you're crazy and I hate seeing your posts and you're awful? You know what I mean? But nobody ever says that. So I don't know why I have that anxiety. You know what I mean? Like Nobody ever says that. Most people be like, I love seeing your posts, but I'm just not interested. And I'll be like, cool. And they're like, it's super motivating though, so I'm going to keep following you. And whenever I hear people say that, I just think, awesome. So it's a no for now, because eventually they're going to probably come back around. And I view everybody as a no for now, even if unless they say I'm already doing this with another coach. And then I just kind of cross them off my list because I'm like, well, they've got somebody else that they're working with, and I'm not going to kind of step in and steal that person or try to steal that person from anybody.
Do you have a method for tracking it? Because I found that I have been an ass and put my foot in my mouth and invited somebody twice.
Yeah.
Oh, I see that I actually already talked to you about this. Sorry, I totally thought you were a different Jess on my Facebook group, whatever it was. I made myself look less stupid, but
so when I first started tracking, what I would do is I used the Go for No sheet, that I think I uploaded it into the group. It's like the grid, Jess, if you'll see it, if you look in there somewhere, there's a picture of it. But it's like a grid and it has 100 squares in it, and I would write names. Well, then it's too hard to track what's beside them. So I would literally just write the list out. But now I actually use a program called Asana. It's Asana. And I can actually, let me pull it up and I can show you guys what it looks like. Because it works for me, and I wouldn't say it's not built for tracking things exactly like this, but it's it's possible to work. And actually in the Rising Leaders group, they had, somebody was talking about Streak, which is like a Google add-in for your Gmail that you can use to track as well. So Streak is another one, but I haven't gotten into that one yet let me see if this logs in. I haven't gotten into that one yet to play around with it, because Asana, I personally, if I was like a website developer, I would make something totally awesome for this purpose, but I am not. So Asana does the trick, and it's taking forever to load. So it's an awesome website, right? If it takes this long to load. It could just be my internet too. So what I do is eventually, here, let me hit the screen share so you guys can see. And then hopefully eventually it'll pop up here. My computer is super slow. I don't know what's going on with it. Okay, can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay, so as soon as it loads, then I'll be able to show you. And there is actually, so the nice thing with this website is there is actually an app for it as well. So you can track from your phone too, which I think is really nice, because then, if a lot of times I'll send out invites when I'm at the chiropractor sitting in the massage chair because I've got nothing else to do, but I can send out a couple invites, or it's you're sitting there in between meetings and you're like, well, I can send out one invite right now, but you don't remember who you've talked to or what. So, oh my gosh, this thing is sick. Let me see. Let me close out everything. I don't know if it's just because I have things up and running or what. Okay, well, anyways, you know what I'll do in the meantime, as it probably will load. There we go. Okay. All right, so you can see my tasks list, and I have all these people's names in there. So it does take some time to actually add people's names in. And you have to type everything in, but it's pretty simple. So I haven't been on the actual website in a while. So what you have is over here on the left, you can see you can actually add people to this. So I could add you guys in if we were working on a project or something together. We could actually access it all here. It's kind of like Google. But Under projects, I did prospect, conversation, client, purchaser, coach, prospect, and then coach. That way I can label people as whatever they are. So everybody that goes in there that has not purchased from me before or hasn't done anything with me before goes in as a prospect because they're all prospects at that point. And then you can go in and I'm just going to click on this person. Let me see. Okay, so whenever it pops up, then you can see like you can add a description in, and I mean, you can make notes. Like at that point, whenever I added her in, it was July. She was 9 months pregnant, so I knew obviously she's probably not looking to get into a program at that point, but she could be in a couple of months. So you can actually set like a due date. So to follow up with her. So I was like, well, she's 9 months pregnant. Give her like another month or so or whatever until the baby comes. And then, another month or so after that. And then check in with her. So I actually have not followed up with this person yet. So she'll probably get an invite from me before I go to bed because she's a new mom. So new moms always are looking to lose the baby weight. And then if you look here, like you can see, like I haven't done anything with her. She's actually a former bride of mine that just got married this past summer. But she was on my friends list and I said, you know what, why not? Why not add her into my list? So, here's another one. She's pregnant. She's due in November. So I set the due date for December. She's a former athlete. So I knew we actually talked about it before. So I know she may be interested in doing it. Actually, her husband is Cam Hayward, who plays for the Steelers. So it's so fun. So like I said, there's a lot of people, and that's like how I track people. And so like, say for example, once I invite them, like it has an assignee. Once I invite them, I take I unassign it from myself so that I know I've already at least reached out to them. And then you can switch it. Once you start the back and forth conversation, I will relabel it as conversation instead of prospect, because that way I remember that I'm in the conversation with them. So like if I go to my conversations, actually this person purchased from me and I never actually see, and I didn't know when she was due. So I was like, check to see if she had baby yet. So it's like little things like that. Like you just kind of follow, like there's people sent invite to the 720 group. And a lot of these people, like I just wrote sent invite and then I changed it to conversation. So that's how I've been tracking mine. Now the last group of 100 people that I wrote down, I actually just wrote them down. I didn't feel like getting in here and doing this. I literally just put pen to paper and wrote my list of 100 people out. So it makes it harder than to keep track of the conversations. And I do feel like some of those conversations, I literally have to go back through my Facebook messages and be like, hey, does that help? Yeah.
Yes, that was very helpful.
I mean, like I said, it takes a little bit of time to get this set up and running, but once you do, it's easy. And then, like I said, I don't know if I can pull up the app and show you how like super simple it is. Like it'll even pull up let me get rid of the screen share. How do I do that? Like stop share. Okay. So like, can you guys, I don't know if it's like too glared. Like you can see like the app, it's literally like pretty much the same thing. It's like probably not coming up because the glow and all that fun stuff in the computer, but yeah, the app is super easy and I barely ever use that's why I was like kind of fumbling around on the website because I was like, I don't use this in probably a couple of months because I always use the app. And it's pretty straightforward and pretty easy. So what other questions so far? Anything? No?
I don't have anything right now.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to have a whole lot. Tracy, do you have anything so far?
Well, I did just reach my Gmail, so I'm going to try that.
Kind of stumped right now on questions. I know they're going to pop up once
Yeah.
we're done.
Well, and I'm always here to like answer those questions, so you don't have to worry about that part. And honestly, like if you are going back and forth, so then after, so let me see if I can find, it's probably in my scripts. So after the invite is done, or that first initial invite is done, I always get the questions back. Yeah, I'd love to learn more. And then people are like, oh crap. Now what? Now what do I say? So let me see. Like I typically say, okay, so this is the general gist of the group, and I'll just list it all right out. I mean, it's literally like, okay, so a little bit more about the group. It is a 30-day challenge done through where everybody does a Beachbody workout program, replaces 1 meal a day with Shakeology, and eats clean and healthy for 30 days. In the group, you will get tips and tricks and recipes and motivation, and of course accountability, and me as your coach to help you through the process to make sure that you actually kind of reach your goals. So that's kind of what I go and I say, does this sound like something you'd want to do? Because once they learn that they have to do a Beachbody program and drink Shakeology, I think it's just important for them to like say, yes, I want to move forward, because if they aren't interested in that, you don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste your time going back and forth with them and then them realize like, oh yeah, no, I don't want to drink Shakeology. And some people just don't, like some people don't want to drink Shakeology, and I kind of do that on a case-by-case basis. Like if I know that, well, a lot of times, like if I know the reason that they don't want to drink Shakeology as a monetary reason, a lot of times I will let them still be in the group, because ultimately I want them to succeed and I want them to get some results. But anymore, it's been more and more rare that I let people into the group without drinking Shakeology. So yeah, that's kind of the next step. And then after that, if they say, yes, I'm still interested, that's when you start going back and forth you start going back and forth so that you can do the figuring out what the programs are and things like that. Okay. Yeah.
I think the thing I've struggled with so far is I've invited people and I put it out there for people and they're interested, and then I give them the more information and then they find out the price and they're like, oh shit, okay, and then they back down.
Yeah, so I mean, price is always an objection. Like it's always going to be an objection for people. This is the thing that you want to try to do, is try to build up the value of the product before you let them see the price. You know what I mean? So it's like you are getting, like, let's just say since the 21-day fix is on sale again this coming month, let's just say we're talking about the 21-day fix. You're like, so with the challenge pack, you're going to get the program. You're going to get the meal plan. You're going to get the portion control containers. You're going to get your first 30 days of Shakeology. So 1 meal every day is done. You don't have to think about that. And then not only that, but you're going to get the motivation and support and accountability from the challenge group, and you're going to have me as your coach, and I will be there for you, maybe one-on-one or anything throughout the whole process. So, you want to build up the value so that so whenever they get the price, it's not so bad. Now, with the sales and the specials and things like that, like I said, it's $140 for the challenge pack for 21-day fix. So I think I told you this earlier. What I normally say is that you're getting the program for only $10. So you buy Shakeology and you get the program for $10. And to a lot of people, that it seems like a deal. and I mean, it is a deal considering that it's normally, you know, $20 more than that. So, and when you don't buy it in a challenge group, the program itself is $60. So you really are getting quite a deal with buying the combination. So you just want to talk about like the benefits. Well, one, and that's the other thing, like if you find a lot of people are objecting to drinking Shakeology, you want to talk about the benefits of Shakeology. You know, like it might even be like something that you add into your responses to people. So you might say, have you ever heard of Shakeology? You know, and if they say no, you're like, oh, okay, well, let me explain it for you. You know, it's a meal replacement shake. It's going to have, you know, 70 different vitamins and minerals in it. And it, you know, it keeps you full. It's clinically proven to increase your energy, to lower cholesterol, to, you know, lower blood sugar, like all of the benefits. And kind of build the value in Shakeology. I think that's a big one too. People don't understand the good things that Shakeology does for you and why it's so expensive. So, and never use the word expensive when referring to the product. Just a little sales tip. So, yeah, so I think maybe working on building up a little bit more of the value before you drop the price on them. You know, maybe going back and forth and talking about it a little bit more will help with that. And some people are just going to be like, no, that's just too much for me. And you can say, okay, I totally understand. And if you want to, you can say, would you be interested in doing Shakeology alone, or would you be interested in doing just the program alone? Because you could do that too. So that's always an option. Anything else you guys have been getting stuck on?
I have something. How do you like expand your friends list, I guess? I did listen to the wake up call and she talked about the power of three, which I thought was pretty good. Yeah. Connecting with 3 people, inviting 3 people, friending 3 people, but I guess I don't even know where to go to add friends. I mean, I use the like suggested friends, but other than that, how do you do it?
You know what I do use the suggested friends a lot. And I also will use things like this is another good way to do is to find some groups on Facebook. And if you find that you're connecting with somebody, then you can send them a friend request. But I wouldn't just go into a group, like join the group, not interact, and then just start friend requesting all the people and then start sending them invites, because they're going to think of you as a spammer. And they'll probably kick you out of the group, depending on the type of group. So I'm in a couple different moms groups, and I've met a couple people through that, but really I don't friend request them until I've made a connection with them, whether it's like I had a personal conversation or, you know, whatever. So, and I've actually, another mom's group, my cousin's wife invited me to, like a lot of them have purchased from me and things like that. So groups are a good way to find people that have similar interests, because, you know, it could be like a running group, you know what I mean? Something you like to run. I mean, maybe it's a running group and you can, you know, I mean, I definitely wouldn't go in the group and be like, hey guys, I'm having a challenge group. I would just go in and interact like you normally would in that group. And like I said, then once you start connecting with people, then you can friend request them and then go from there. Because, you know, I mean, and there's a different market, I think, for runners too. Like if they're hardcore runners, you know, like PiYo is fantastic because it's going to help you with the flexibility, and like T25 will help you with speed and insanity, all that stuff. So, you know, like you could find a couple of groups. Just don't go to the Pittsburgh moms group. No, you guys aren't moms yet, but man, I'm telling you, it's I had to delete myself from that group because there's so much drama in there. And I was in there. I stayed in there for a really long time just because I wanted to. I was using it for entertainment purposes. Yeah. So I think that's like the most where I find most of my friends from, is like groups, and then, I mean, honestly, it's anybody I meet on the street too. It's like, hey, are you on Facebook? Let me find you. you know, like, I'm not, you know, I don't walk up to random people. It's like, I met a couple at a wedding I was at. They were at the same table as us. We didn't really know anybody else at the wedding, besides the bride and groom. Actually, Joey knew more people at this wedding than I did, and I was invited. Actually, Tracy, it's the one you came and crashed. But, but yeah, I mean, there's this couple that we just, like, Joey and I just hit it off with, and so I friend requested them both, and the one actually purchased the Fixed Statements book from me. She didn't do any of the programs or anything yet, but you never know. The other thing is too that you can do, and I know this was something that was on, if you guys listen to Katie Ursta's Zoom call about, she talked about the Success Club and the importance of it. First of all, I love Katie because she's like, you can totally tell she's a teacher because of the way she talks, and it's awesome. But she was talking about how people that really are working for it will go to the grocery store and they're like, I am not leaving the grocery store until I talk to one person. And I mean, if you really want to push yourself out of your comfort zone, that's definitely a thing you can do. I mean, I talk to people all the time, but I never get that in depth with things. So I don't know, maybe it's like a challenge. We should all like set a goal to do one of those like this entire month.
I thought it was, I listened to that call too, and I was like, that's incredibly smart / almost like if it were me, I'd be like, who is this person and why are they talking to me? So I think it's like how you play your cards. Like if you're holding something to try and they pick it up and put it in their cart, maybe, hey, do you like these? What flavor do you recommend? But
yeah.
Bold.
Yeah, right. And I think it's so bold. I think it's so bold, but I mean, talk about getting like just knocking all those fears out. Like then it's going to be nothing to send a message to one of your friends on Facebook because
right. Oh, I'm scared to hit enter to send this. I just talked to 12 people at the grocery store.
Yeah, you're right. Now, and the thing is, like when I go to the grocery store, I go like Monday mornings after I drop Jordan off at daycare. So like for me, it's like old people that are there Monday morning.
Hey, maybe they want some flexibility. You never know. They could
never know.
Bio.
You never know. But you know what? Even talking to like the cashiers, it could be, you know what I mean? Like even just like talking to them, not necessarily about Beachbody, but just kind of like working that and start like slowly work yourself into that where you might feel okay talking to some rando in the store. But that is a pretty scary thing. I mean, talk about pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. I'm telling you. So, yeah, what else? Anything else? No?
Is it still? Yes. Okay. My phone's dying.
Okay. I think you're gone. Yeah, maybe. She's like frozen on the screen. So yeah, I mean, obviously inviting is something, I mean, even I've been doing it for almost a year now, like consistently for the most part. I fall off. And I won't lie, last month I was bad. Last month I did not do many. I did that chunk of invites, that 30 that I did that one day. And then I didn't do more than like 6 the rest of the day. So, or the rest of the week or month. So, like I was really bad with it. So it took me a while to hit Success Club, hit 10, which is my goal every month. And, but consistency, man, I am dedicated to getting 10 by the 15th because I don't want to have to think about it at the end of the month. If I get more, cool. But, so.
I don't think I'm still going for it, but I don't think I'm going to hit 5. But there's like next month, I feel like it's my month. Like I'm going to make it happen.
And
I feel like I've laid the groundwork this month at least.
Yes, everybody's going to make it happen. I know it because you guys are doing really well. And I know that it's hard to even like get into the consistent posting and things like that. So, and I see it and I see the people like posting and it's great. So it's saying I have less than a minute for the 40-minute meeting call. I don't know if you guys get the notification too, but But yeah, because I haven't upgraded this to the paid version yet, just because I don't have that many attendees yet. So
I would go for the free stuff until you have
heck
to
yeah.
pay.
So it's only 40 minutes. It only allows us to go 40 minutes. So we're getting close. But if you guys do you have any other questions right now?
No, but this was very helpful, so thank you.
Yes. Okay, good. I felt like at first I was a little bit like all over the place because my brain wasn't really working, but I'm glad.
No, it was good. I took all kinds of notes here. Get myself
Good. Yay. All right. Well, there will be a recording too. So if you like need to look back at anything, you will have it. So I'm going to hit
Alrighty.
stop.